today I am finally sitting down and filming the last bit of what I need to do for my first time reading Breaking Dawn. So, I want to start out this video by talking about why it has been so long since I uploaded anything in this video series. Eclipse. I actually read Eclipse from August 21st, 2018 and finished it on September 10th, 2018. I didn't actually upload my video for Eclipse though until January 20th of 2019. Breaking Dawn, on the other hand, I started on August 10th of 2019 and I finished reading on August 21st of 2019. This time I actually have an excuse that is valid. With Eclipse, I don't know why it took me so long. Here is what happened with Breaking Dawn. I finished reading Breaking Dawn and had all of my vlog clips together, and then I filmed another video where I was vlogging. I can't remember which one, but I filmed another video right after I finished Breaking Dawn. And somewhere in my brain, I actually did not transfer the footage from the last section of Breaking Dawn onto my hard drive. So when I actually went to edit this video, I got all the way through all of the footage that I did have for Breaking Dawn vlog clips for the vlog section of the video, and I got to the end and I was like, wait, but I'm not at the end of the book. I should have a lot more footage, because at the end of the book was when I did the most amount of filming, so that I would have the most amount of footage to work with, because it's the most important part of this entire video series is the last 200 pages of the last book of the series, right? And it wasn't anywhere. In other words, I deleted the most important part of the video on accident. And at this point, I'm freaking out. Once I realized the reality of the situation, I start searching on the internet to see if there's any way I can recover this footage. And turns out you can. So I spent $100 on a program to try to recover this footage and try to be able to bring it back. And I was able to actually recover the footage, but it was so corrupted that I couldn't even open it in any program. I couldn't open it in QuickTime or any other preview program, much less in Premiere Pro, which is where I'm going to be editing. So then I'm looking and I'm looking, I'm trying to figure out if there's a way that I can repair this corrupted footage. And I couldn't. So basically I could see it. I literally got to the point where I could see it. I could touch it. I could taste it. I could smell it. But I couldn't actually use it. I took a deep breath and I decided to step away from it for a while. And, you know, say, you know what? It's okay. It's okay if this doesn't go up yet. And part of the reason I was stressing so much about it was because I wanted to do another first time reading series for the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy. And it was already the end of August. So if I was going to read these books, then it needed to be by the end of September that I did all of this video series for this book series. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a step back. And I'm going to focus on The Summer I Turned Pretty, and Breaking Dawn will happen when it happens. The videos that were going to go in between to fill the gap until I figured out and finished Breaking Dawn's video, I kind of DNF'd that video I read the books, I just DNF'd the video. So I ended up doing was I sat down with you guys and I kind of just flipped through and talked about my annotations. I basically just like told you, oh, this is what I was thinking at this point, or oh, this is one of the theories I had at this point. One thing I have decided to do to make up for the issue that occurred and the lack of having the original footage for Breaking Dawn is I actually decided I was going to do a bonus content video of reading The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner and Life and Death. So I did videos for both of those. So I have a video of me reading both of those that I have started working on and will be uploading after this one. Without any further ado, I'm going to send you over to the vlog section of the video, and then we'll come back and talk about my thoughts and notes that I made when I finished the book, as well as my thoughts on the movies. Alright, you guys, I am starting book. My tabbies are ready. I am gonna say I'm sorry for the music being loud. It's loud to me. It might be loud to you guys. Normally it's not so loud back here. I have my tabby set up different than the last several books, and I'm using completely different tabs than the last several books, but whatever. I am 2 chapters in. So my first thing is I must have blocked out Jacob entirely from my memory because I completely forgot and couldn't make the connection as to who Bella's favorite mechanic would have been until like right there when she mentioned it, and forgot that he went missing and all of that. Renee, you must be extra stupid to think that Bella is not teenager or was never a teenager, because she's like the most teenagery of all the teenagers that ever teened. I had this OMG moment. Alice, and like she's tailoring on his suit for the wedding. Charlie said something like, "Ow, you got me," and that got me freaking out a little bit. I was like, oh well, this is about to get real awkward. But then she's like, "It didn't break the skin, trust me," and I was like, oh, whew. It's all good, guys. It's all good. Alright, hey guys, so I am at the dog park with the pupper who is somewhere. There he is. There he is. Boop, 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 boop. And get started on reading. I've been trying to pick a playlist, but Sam is having the time of his life right now. I'm going to try to get as much reading done as possible today. Okay, update. So it was too sunny over where the tree was, so I moved to the other side of the tree. I love the something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue that they did. Although I hate when people do that the dress is new or that the dress is one of the things. Like, I feel like the 4 things need to be separate from what you're already supposed to be wearing, like your dress or your ring or whatever. Like, it has to be something separate, like another item, a separate item. But that's just my opinion. But I love the thing that was borrowed, almost like garter from Alice. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to reading now. Oh, Sam is gonna go back to frolicking now. Oh my gosh, Bella literally just said, "Don't let me fall, Dad." That's actually really cute. Aside from the fact that it's like her, you know, just trying not to be klutzy, it's like actually quite cute if you take it out of that context and like think about it more fully. It's so cute. Okay guys, so I just thought of my first theory for the book, and that is that I am on page 52, so it's at the reception and Billy Black is there. It comes to this part and it mentions that the wolves knew a breach was coming to the treaty about the Cullens never creating new vampires, and I realized that must be one of the big parts of this whole book is that treaty, and I didn't even think about it because I needed a refresher for sure, and should have done a little bit of more refreshing before this, but that definitely has got to be one of the big parts of this book, which makes a lot more sense now that I'm thinking about it, that would be one of the main points of this installment. Oh my god. Jacob is there at the wedding. I have feelings. Many feelings. So many feelings. Shocker. Jacob is being stupid again. And is butting in about the honeymoon stuff and things and being stupid. I'm not surprised. But I'm sad because I thought that it was starting out better. But alas, here we are. So Carlisle gave Esme a freaking island. The only thing that would have made it better is if Edward had given Bella her own island. The way that Edward is reacting, thinking that he's really hurt Bella, is making me very sad. So at first I thought that maybe Edward thinking that he hurt Bella was going to be a main part of the plot for the rest of the book. But I retract that statement by the end of like the next chapter, or that maybe even that chapter that I wrote it. I can't remember, I didn't put the page numbers. She found the little blue box. It was like pads or tampons. She realized her period was late by like 5 days. And I did not realize that was gonna come so early in the book. Like, I'm only yay far in book, so I was surprised that it came up that early. Okay, y'all, so everything that's happening to Bella right now makes no sense as far as like what she thinks is happening to her physically. Like, why would there be a freaking bump? Like, the wedding was 17 days ago. And like, and she knows that it's like not possible. So like, what's even happening? Oh, so things just got real interesting. Here Bella is thinking about things, having all these emotions because, you know, sudden surprise pregnancy, right? And Edward literally says, "Don't be afraid. We'll be home in 16 hours. You'll be fine. Carlisle will be ready when we get there. We'll take care of this and you'll be fine. You'll be fine." "Take care of this? What do you mean?" she said. He says, he leaned away and looked at me in the eye. "We're going to get that thing out of you before it can hurt any part of you." That thing. I think I'm starting to see where the dreams were coming from a little bit more, and starting to see the artistry of how Stephanie Meyer kind of like weaved those dreams to kind of like weave into the plot. Yes, Rosalie's gonna come to the rescue. I'm so confident that Rosalie's gonna save the day. Yes, genius. Smart girl, Bella, smart girl. That said, book 2, Jacob. What? We're getting something from Jacob's perspective? Why? No, I don't want to hear from him. Ew. I'm really enjoying how Seth is like totally shutting Jacob down right now. So they just heard about Bella coming back and being sick, and Jacob and Seth are kind of fighting about whether they should go and fight, because they're assuming that the Collins have broken the treaty, which is not the case. Seth is genius in his comebacks here, saying, "What are you gonna do when Bella fights with them, Jacob?" He says, "She's not Bella anymore. You gonna be the one to take her down?" He winced. "No, you're not. So what? You're gonna make one of us do it and hold a grudge against us forever, against whoever it is forever?" He says, "I wouldn't." He said, "Sure you won't. You're not ready for this fight, Jacob." Kill it, Seth. Yes, I love Seth. He's my favorite of the werewolves officially. And I know that a lot of people really love Jacob, but I can't stand him. So freaking stupid Jacob is about to go and attack the Collins himself, because Sam said nothing about individual attacks. So that's great. Love that. Poor Edward. He's like, oh, he loves her so much, And so right now he's asking Jacob to be willing to give Bella children that are safe for her to bear, because the baby, she thinks, or they think that this is gonna kill her. Willing to give that up to make her happy and to keep her safe and just have feelings. Still don't like Jacob. The fact that he's like so extra, like he thinks that he knows everything, and he thinks that his opinion of things and his way of things is the only way that's right, which is not true. So that's annoying. Edward has no idea how wrong he is. He's talking about that Rosalie's always there, protecting her and encouraging her. He thinks that Rosalie doesn't care about Bella's life. He doesn't realize how wrong he really is. That's all she cares about, is the fact that Bella was giving up her life and being human. So here they are. The pack is hearing what happened from Jacob, and they're thinking stuff like, the treaty doesn't cover this. This will put everyone in danger. Unnatural, monstrous, an abomination. Blah, 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 blah. We can't allow it. Okay, except for, like, it's not your life, and you don't know if it's dangerous or not, because you haven't seen it yet. Like, you can't know. I just can't with assumptions. They're, like, my biggest pet peeve of, like, ever. So they're literally considering killing Bella and this unborn baby, thinking that that is a humane way to handle things. Furious right now. Like, I am furious. First of all, they all have had friendships and relationships with Bella. So it pisses me off that they are just ignoring that as if they never had a significant relationship with her, which they did. Second of all, like, as if it's your right. Like, it's not your right to kill that unborn baby, not knowing anything about it. Not, you know, like, you have no say about this, like, at all. I mean, like, props to Stephanie Meyer for pulling emotions out of me. Not, you know, like, I don't get emotionally attached to books that much anymore. So props to Stephanie Meyer for pulling emotions out of me that I didn't think I was gonna have reading these books. So throwing that out there. But also, ugh! Oh my gosh, Jacob. What? So he's sitting here and he's thinking through how he can get out of the fight. I think he's breaking from the pack. Is what it sounds like. Possibly becoming pack leader, maybe, depending on how this goes. Things are happening, guys. The pack is better than that. Lead them in the right direction, Sam. Oh, he's killing it. I am not a Jacob fan at all, but I am very proud of his, like, you know, fighting for, you know, the right thing in this context. And I like the fact that he's not focusing so much on Bella here. He's not even talking about saving Bella so much as he's talking about that this is just wrong. So Leah's joining them? Wait. I didn't think about the fact that Leah and Sam were exes. Like, that makes so much more sense. I can definitely relate to that. Definitely understand that. Like, totally get that. That is a very hard situation to be constantly stuck around somebody that you had all this history with. So my theory is that the baby has 24 chromosomal pairs. Humans have 23 and vampires have 25. I bet she has 24. Okay, maybe just kidding, because Jacob has 24 as a werewolf. So maybe it's not 24? I don't know, man. Ah, now I'm more confused than ever. Ah! Life. It's too hard. It's too hard. I guess we're just gonna have to wait to find out. That's so annoying. I thought I had it figured out. So, got a lot of book to go. Like, gosh, it's crazy how much has happened just in the first 250 pages. Like, this is a 700 and something page book. That's a lot that's happened. Like, this is a very jam-packed finale book. So I do have to give her credit for making this book very action-packed. Especially compared to the other ones, I felt like they kind of were like much less action-y than this one. So this might end up being my favorite. So I had a thought. Once maybe they're gonna clear up the things with the wolves and that'll all be okay. But I'm very curious to see if the Volturi come into play later on, which would make sense with Bella's dreams that she had. Bella wanting to make it so that she can visit Charlie and thinking that that's gonna work. Girl, I don't know about that. Baby creature thing using teeth to get out. Excuse me? I like Leah. Oh my gosh. I can't. I'm freaking out. Edward can hear the baby slides. I'm freaking out. This is crazy. This is crazy. I love it. Oh my gosh. This is so sweet. Oh my gosh, this is so sweet. This is precious. Oh. EJ. Oof. Oof. Mm-mm. Do not like that she picked EJ. I'm gonna go back to reading instead of like phoning on camera. Okay. Edward asked Jacob to let him change Bella and to let them deviate from the treaty, saying that it was really Jacob's decision to make because he was the real leader here and Sam's authority was just assumed from Jacob. And then Jacob actually did give that permission. So, two huge plot twists in one. And then the chapter ended with Bella and a ripping sound and a scream and her vomiting blood. So I think that, you know, things are about to get real interesting. Oh no, the baby can't breathe. Oh no. Oh no. much happened here. That is insane. Oh my god. So much has already happened in this book. That's the crazy thing to me about this. There's so much smooshed into this book. Like, oh my god. Bella has officially been turned. So it seems like she hasn't had to give up her feelings and emotions because she still feels like all of the love and the feelings towards Edward. About to go hunt together for the first time. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so crazy. Is like very in control of herself and her emotions and things, and they don't really know why, but they also don't know if it's going to last, and if so, how long. I'm wondering if she has special physical powers, like that's her special power, is like physical grace and strength and things like that, or if it's because she's a newborn. Kind of worried that she's about to attack a human. So incredibly interesting that they're so confused by her self-control. So I'm curious as to if that has something to do with it. When we talk about how rapidly and fast that Renesmee is developing, but how and why? I have so many questions. Oh my god. Renesmee has a gift. Oh my god. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. Oh my god. Oh my god. Jacob's behavior right now, like, this is her daughter. This is her baby. Her child. I can't handle his behavior. Like, he's so freaking possessive. I can't. So Bella figured it out, that he imprinted on her. And oh my god, she's so mad. And I'm living for how angry she is right now, because she's like so pissed. Feud ended between Sam's pack and everybody else, and I was like, but how? Why? I thought that would be a big part of the rest of the book, so I was shocked to discover that. I'm thinking that maybe Charlie and Renee are going to be a big part of the rest of the plot. Really bugs me on Bella's behalf that they kind of like, they nicknamed Renesmee, and like it kind of feels like that her being Renesmee's mother is being kind of ripped away from her in some ways because she's a newborn, which is stupid. It's like, that's her daughter, that's her baby, and I don't think there's absolutely any risk of her attacking that baby. To me, that they said temper tantrum, talking about when Bella flipped out on Jacob. That is not a temper tantrum. That is the wrath of a mother. That is a mama bear's wrath right there. That is not the same thing as a temper tantrum. Maybe they will have to turn Renesmee because of her rapid growth and development, that they're maybe gonna have to turn her to stop her from growing and stop her from like meeting an early death. So it's really interesting to see how annoyed that Jasper is about Bella's control and everything, and her little cottage. Oh my gosh, so sweet. Thought that it's kind of like a Peter Pan couple, or like a Peter Pan family. They'll never get tired and they'll never grow old. I kind of got that thought from how they raced back to that house. Alice saw something, or maybe a lack of something, because of Jacob. Did something that erased her schedule for the whole day, and she couldn't see anything, and then she was gonna, like, she had this whole plan to help show Bella how to use her closet. Freaking Jacob talked to Charlie. I'm beyond angry right now. Like, I've been pissed at Jacob throughout the series, but so he did this so that they wouldn't move across the country. As if he couldn't just move with them. Okay, so I have confusions and concerns here. Like, okay, first of all, it's crazy how much Renesmee actually understands. Second of all, I really wish so badly that Charlie could know that Renesmee was his real granddaughter. But I'm also confused by that whole interaction and whether Charlie kind of guessed it and what he thinks that Bella really is. And like, I'm just very confused. I just love that he wants to be involved in her life still. He wants to come back tomorrow. Which really got to my heart. He got to hold Renesmee. Her middle name, Carly with a C, so it's like Carlisle and Charlie put together. I have feelings, you guys. I wish I was a book crier, or I would probably cry. Or then I would probably cry, not or. Words are hard, but book is good. You guys, I like the Twilight Saga. I like it. I can't deny it anymore. I can't. That's so weird to me. I always thought I was gonna like go into this series and I hate it. Oh my gosh. This is so weird. A holy time jump. Literally ended one chapter in one place. Started next chapter 3 months later. Renesmee apparently spoke her first word and first sentence on the same day, and it was clear and eloquent. She said, "Mama," and then she said, "Mama, where is Grandpa?" And then 3 weeks later, she walks without, any struggle, as if she had been walking for years. And at 3 months, she was like, in between being a big 1-year-old or a small 2-year-old. I'm so confused. I just love their little family so much. It's so cute. This middle section of the book was a little bit on the slower side compared to the beginning of the book. Like, the first portion was like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And then the middle was kind of like, meh. Not as boring as some of the other books, but not as exciting as the beginning of this book. Like, I get why it was kind of a little bit warmer, but like, I'm still waiting for the Volturi to return, and I'm curious. I'm feeling like maybe they're not going to, which is sad, like, because all of this time I was like, the Volturi are gonna come for Renesmee. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep reading book. I don't know anymore, guys. By Carlisle's calculations, the growth of her body was gradually slowing. Her mind continued to race on ahead. Even if the rate of decrease held steady, she'd be an adult in no more than 4 years. 4 years. And an old woman by 15. Just 15 years of life. Jacob and Renesmee seemed alike in so many ways, both half and half beings. Two things at the same time. All the werewolf lore insisted that vampire venom was a death sentence rather than a course to mortality. I didn't think about that, but it makes sense. A solo trip? Bella's trip to see the Volturi. So confused as to why it has to be just her. I was right. The Volturi are in this book. I was right. Ha! Here I was thinking, how is she gonna, and then I called it, okay? I called it. The reason that she wants to go alone is because of Renesmee. She doesn't want anybody to be able to see that Renesmee exists. But I'm worried that Arrow is gonna want Bella because of her abilities. Jacob was more of a child than Renesmee sometimes. I could have told you that. And there's a vampire. So it's Irina. Hey guys, so it has been a long time since I actually talked to you guys about Breaking Dawn. And the reason for that is because I actually read the entirety of Breaking Dawn and filmed this whole vlog in August of 2019. And it is January of 2020. I have decided that I'm going to actually sit down and reenact everything that I can. Luckily for me, I annotate. And so not only do I have a bunch of tabs in here, but I also even have like my notes. I did some strategy to try to get to where I could see what page I was on, and I couldn't tell by the page number, so I had to like go by the color tabs that I could see that was there, and it was a struggle, but I got the right page. And so I actually found the exact last page that I have in the video already, so that means I have 200 pages and some change left to kind of reenact for you guys. Really quickly, I want to show you guys also this magical beanbag chair that I got for Christmas. I think I'm going to read in it. So it looks like where I stopped, or where my footage stopped, was with Irina. So now the Volturi are coming, and it's not about Bella, so I was thinking it's about Renesmee. Now they're coming up with their plan, and I think it's genius to gather as many people as they can to stand behind them. Although I did think that Alice was lying when she was like saying that she couldn't see. Alice's note, and my note in here was, you mean temporarily leave or like join the Volturi? Like, it didn't clarify at all what Alice meant by leave. At this point, when I was first reading this, I was very confused. I felt that Alice wouldn't have left for the reasons that they think she left. I knew she had to have some sort of plan or reason behind it, like trying to protect them or something. I knew there had to be more behind it than just like her and Jasper staying safe. Because she was saying it was still odd to hear Jacob use Edward's name without bitterness, and I'm like, it's weird to hear him say his name at all and not just say bloodsucker. This little part, Mama, you're special. Renesmee told me without any surprise that she was commenting on the color of my clothes. So sweet. At this point, I might have been thinking that maybe Alice had left to stay away from Chelsea because the Volturi really wanted Alice for her powers and blah blah blah. Okay, he wants to take all of the Cullens into the Volturi and like make them become Volturi, not kill them, but actually like take them. And that's like the whole worse than death thing, the worse than punishment concept. That's why Alice saw their decision before Irina even triggered it, is because they had already decided they were just waiting for an excuse. So the moment that Irina made her decision to go to the Volturi, that became true as the future. The conversation between Bella and Renesmee, when she, was telling her, but when the time comes today, you have to leave me, and she gave her the backpack, and just so many feelings. When Eros got so excited about Renesmee, I was like, okay, there is hope, but I was still concerned at this point because of the fact that he could want Renesmee. They have a plan B, apparently, to maintain their ability to fight the Cullens at this moment. Where Irina was like, this is a mistake, I take responsibility for it, the Cullens are innocent and you have no reason to still be here. There's no crime, there's no valid reason for you to continue here. All of that. And then they killed her. And I had a lot of emotions at this point. I was like, wait, I'm sorry, what? Where are we going here? And that was plan C. They were like, okay, plan A, to, follow through with Irina's, okay, here's our excuse. They created a normal child. And then plan B, to bring up the werewolves, to, say that she has a problem with, the Cullens, blah, 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 in that way. And then plan C is to kill her so that her sisters want to avenge her and therefore start to fight. And then Alice came back and I was so happy. I knew that she was going to come through. Perhaps in time, if you prove a friend to us again. That is one of my other favorite things, is Carlisle just like coming down on Eros and being like, I'm sorry to earn your disapproval. Perhaps in time you will forgive me. And I'm like, please. But then, perhaps in time, if you prove a friend to us again. Oof, Carlisle coming down. Oof. The end of the chapter, I literally wrote, I'm so shook, with 2 exclamations. Okay, so for some reason, I have the last chapter's worth of the original footage, so I'm just gonna play that now. I'm pretty sure I'm just reading the last chapter, but I'm just gonna insert that here. I did it! I read Twilight, the whole Twilight Saga, and I'm freaking impressed. I'm so surprised. I'm so shook that I enjoyed this as much as I did. The development of Stephanie Meyer's writing and the minimization of problematic elements throughout the series. Of course, there's still one major one in this book, but I can't. Okay, guys, I better go to bed. It's late. I should have already been asleep. Good night. Okay, you guys, so now we're going to talk about the notes that I made when I finished the book for character and relationship development. My first note is that I really liked Seth and Edward's relationship. Their little friendship was super cute. Jacob throughout the story. Let's talk about it. You guys may already know, if you've actually watched the other videos in the series, then you'll know how I feel about Jacob. He came to the wedding and that's when this occurred. He didn't come to the wedding to make her feel guilty, he says. But then somehow along the lines they get into the conversation of Jacob, or of Edward and Bella's intimacy, or the possibility of that, if it's possible, that kind of thing. Even though Jacob and Bella Bella and Edward hadn't really gotten to discuss that in full detail at this point. So that really is not Jacob's concern. that is not something that he should be a part of. I really found that Jacob was such a know-it-all. So I just spilled coffee on myself. Cool. Can we just take a moment for the relationship between Bella and Rose? Oh my gosh. This made my heart so incredibly happy. I adored this relationship. We also got a lot of development of Leah. We really got a development between Edward and Jacob as well, which I really very much enjoyed. Charlie. I adore him. He is such a great dad. We really got to see Bella kind of come into her own, and kind of, you know, become herself in a way. And to learn to love herself also. Like, I don't know how to describe it other than to just read this quote to you. So this was really different. I was amazing now. To them and to myself. Alice, Alice's love for her family just shone through her actions in the end. We also got relationships that developed between all the different vampires that came to the Cullens and came to support the Cullens. We're going to move into writing plot and world notes. So here are some of the quotes that I loved and my favorite part. One of my favorite parts was how Renee responded to Bella getting married, recognizing that Bella is her own person and will have a different life from her and make different choices, different mistakes. One of my favorite quotes, Bella says, "Don't let me fall, Dad." She called him Dad, and the line is so precious just in and of itself. My next thing is one of my favorite parts. Bella saw herself as beautiful twice in this book. It was at the times that she was being who she was meant to be. And that to me is such a powerful message to send. And honestly, I don't know if that's something that Stephenie Meyer considered or noticed that she had done. But it's so powerful to me that you are at your most beautiful when you're doing what it is that you're meant to do, and when you're, you know, being who you're supposed to be. And that it's not a matter of, you know, being cool or being popular that makes you beautiful. When Bella was being swarmed by a bunch of guys in book 1, she wasn't about that, you know, and she didn't call herself beautiful then. She didn't feel special then. It wasn't until she was in the place where she was fulfilling her destiny, where she was, you know, fulfilling her purpose in life, that she really felt beautiful. The next quote that I really liked, Leah said, "It will be easier to deal with your pain than to face mine." And the reason I like this quote is because I think that a lot of readers can relate to this, but one of the things that I definitely have found that is helpful to me a lot of times is reading during a time when I'm in a tough headspace or I'm dealing with a hard time in life. There's something magical about, you know, stepping into somebody else's problems for a while. That is why I'm obsessed with the Shadowhunter Chronicles, is because during one of the hardest times in my life, those books, you know, really got me through, because when I couldn't deal with my own problems in my reality, I escaped to someone else's reality. For this one, it's a quote, and it's all I'm gonna have to say. You guys will already know. "You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster." Another one of my favorite parts was Renesmee telling Bella about her day before she could even talk. I just thought that was so cute. Alice playing rock, paper, scissors. Enough said. The arm wrestling scene. And the last one is Garrett's speech on the battlefield. I adored that part. It was so good. So I only have 2 notes of things that I found cringy. So here they are. "You're killing my buzz, Edward." And "creeptacular." The whole chromosomes thing was really cool, but I feel like it wasn't followed through with in the end. We never found out how many chromosomes Renesmee has. for one thing. And for another thing, if she has the same number of chromosomes that Jacob has, then it would stand to reason that she should therefore be a shapeshifter or a wolf. Another thing, there were so many different powers that I wish it had been listed on the chart what the powers were. Think about the problematic and triggering elements. Quote, "You've never been a teenager, sweetie." This is one thing that I really was annoyed by, and that is that Bella was dishonest about how she felt during the time she was being turned with Carlisle. She didn't open up about the fact that yes, she still felt pain. And yes, she could have moved, but chose not to. And it's fine except for the fact that she lied to Carlisle. So Carlisle's under the impression that if he gives somebody I can't even remember what pain medication he gave her. But basically, if he gives somebody this medicine when he, if he ever turns another person, to save their life or whatever, then he's going to assume that they're going to be okay and not be in pain. And that's not the truth. That's harmful. I feel like Renee would have been more concerned than it is played. Meaning when Bella is sick. Renee is kind of just non-existent through that entire part of the book. Like, after the wedding, she's like non-existent. Last thing I want to talk about is that I'm really kind of irritated that Stephanie didn't expand more and continue on with this world and continue on. There are so many. I listed off a bunch of different potentials for a sequel series. One example is the fall of the Volturi. We have characters who absolutely hate their guts that we were introduced to in this book. And we even experienced, Arrow says towards the end, "I'm sorry to earn your disapproval, my dear friend. Perhaps in time you will forgive me." And then Carlisle responds with something along the lines of, perhaps if you prove to be a friend, something along those lines. So we've got options for the Volturi themselves. We've got options for Jacob and Renesmee. Questions like, can Renesmee have kids? Renee coming into the picture. Nahuel, or however you pronounce it, his life, him having been introduced to this family, we could get, a whole story about this kid. Also the guy that created him, naming this, super race and defining them a little bit more. And we also got so many other vampires. We got other vampire clans and nomads from other places. Now I would like to wrap up the entirety of my reading experience of the original Twilight saga. May be able to guess, but I'm not sure based on how this video is turning out. I'm not sure if any of this is gonna come across clearly, but my favorite book is definitely Breaking Dawn, 100%. Series definitely threw me for a loop. Here's the thing, I went into this video series expecting to hate this. Book 1 surprised me. Book 2 concerned me. Book 3 redeemed a little, but book 4 just made all of it worth it. At the end of the day, I am glad that I read this series. I was definitely very, very surprised by it, and it makes me excited to dive into some of these other books that I've heard people talk about, that I've heard people rave about, or that were popular that I just never read. Basically what I want this series to be is a backlist books, or like books where something new is coming out for it, hint hint, about what's coming up next. Hint hint. But like basically like backlist things or things that were made into movies or TV shows, and then reading like the source material, stuff like that. So I hope you guys were able to enjoy this video, and despite the I hope you guys were able to enjoy this video despite the struggle that I experienced with it, and enjoy this video series. I hope that you are interested in seeing the future ones as well, because they are going to continue and I'm excited. I am hoping to kind of make them a little bit easier for me as far as filming and doing all of that, so that I will be a little bit more timely with that. I hope you guys are ready for the next one, yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. I will see you soon with another video, and make sure to subscribe to find out what the next series I'm going to be reading for the first time will be. I hope you guys are ready for the next one, yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. I will see you soon with another video, and make sure to subscribe to find out what the next series I'm going to be reading for the first time will be. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss out on what I'm going to be reading for the first time next time. And I will see you guys very soon. Peace out, Bear Scouts.